if you don't mind, just what's it like coming back to New Orleans and having the opportunity?
It's special. Getting to pull up the facility again, and brings back a lot of memories. Of just happiness, joy, winning. Hard work. A lot of people that you love are still in this building, and some aren't, but you get to remember what you did with them here. So, getting to come back has been special.
And what was it like to stay on the other side of the rivalry?
I'll always take we got to whoop them next year, but got a lot of love for a lot of the people over there, and sorry when you got to run into us, but besides that, got a lot of love over there.
Kaden, how would you feel you've changed from your first stint here, having those 3 years away and then being back here? How do you feel you are as a player and a person?
Yeah, as a player, God's used every experience maybe on the field that's been seen by the world, and every experience behind closed doors to grow me. Nowhere near a finished product, but I pray I'm closer to Him than I was then. And then as a player, man, I left here. I think I got 11 starts that year. I left. Now I think I had 51 in Atlanta. So it's a lot of experience that I didn't have before. I got to play under 3 different defense coordinators. So a lot of new schemes that I got to learn. You got to figure out new ways to skin the cat. Whereas when I was here, I was under DA my entire time. And it was awesome to learn from him as well. But, now I've learned from 4, and I get to learn from a 5th who's pretty special upstairs right now. So obviously getting to, understand the game from a more complex standpoint, I guess. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to running, hitting, and playing hard. And hopefully that's the same as it's always been.
I'm sure there's
level for you. I mean, you mentioned the 5th upstairs. I'm praying to say what's kind of the excitement level for you training in his season.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to get to go talk to him right now. I can't wait to hear, really what he thinks and how we can do something special together. I've had a lot of respect for him as a coach through peers that I've known that have played for him, and through other coaches that I've played for that have worked with him. I've never heard anybody say anything negatively, and pretty much everybody says that he's one of the smartest people they've ever been around. So I'm really excited to get to go talk to him.
I'm sure there's when you left here, there was a really good linebacker here who's no longer here.
Yeah.
What kind of influence did Demario have on you?
Oh my gosh. And Demario Davis is such a special human being. I think everybody that's in New Orleans can attest to that. He's, I have an amazing father that I've gotten to look up to my entire life and try to model my life afterwards. And my dad is the most amazing man I've ever been around. I've got brothers and a son now that I hope model me in that same way. And although you may never replicate what a father that's in your life and loves you, what he means to you, in a football sense, and as a man, Demario taught me so much in a very similar way. Getting to be behind him was such an amazing blessing that maybe in the time you didn't realize it, because it meant you weren't playing. But what it meant when I did get to play, I was ready, because I got to watch him go to work every single day. I got to watch the way he approached everything. I got to watch the way he prepared for the game. I got to watch the way he played. I got to watch the way he attacked different situations. And he always talked about his bag, right? The things he pulled out of his bag, whether it's coverage or pass rush or run. Man, he's such a special human being. And then you get into what he does off the field and how he treats the people in the locker room, how he treats the young rookie when he comes into the room as a 7th rounder. And he's just a world-class human. So, man, Demario is a very special human being that will always mean so much to this city. And I'm just so thankful I've gotten to know him.
Do you see it as replacing him?
No. Because he's his leadership, his voice, his wisdom, I don't think you can replace that with one human being. So, hopefully, that's one of the great things about this organization that made it very awesome to and appealing to come back to was, how well run it is, Mickey and company, making sure they got the right people in that locker room, in the coaching staff. And it's going to take a group effort to fill the void left by Demario, because he's special.
I'm sure there's dozens of things that weigh into decisions like this, but is it as simple as the last time they didn't have an obvious role for you, and this time they have a role that fits you really well?
Yeah, probably you could get down to the nitty gritty, right? At the end of the day, God's got plans, and just trusting Him and where He leads me and my family. But yeah, last time it wasn't the right fit at the moment. But getting to come back has been special, and I'm really excited to see what we can do.
And I guess the best way to describe you would be an off-the-ball linebacker with versatility. But when you talk about their vision for what you could do in Brandon Staley down there, obviously, you've said lots of different defensive coordinators. It's more of a 3-4 scheme. I mean, is it still off-the-ball linebacker first and foremost, or are you excited about playing multiple positions possibly?
Yeah, I'm a pass rusher at heart. I think that's what I'll always say is my first position. I'll probably play most at off-ball. Who knows? But getting to go after the quarterback is something I love. I also love the versatility that I can bring to a defense, though. So I don't got to go with the quarterback every time. I'll cover someone every now and then. Just don't do it too much, please.
Forgive me for not knowing, but were you the Mike in Atlanta? Like, is that an area that...
I played Mike and Will, so I played both. I had the green dot all 3 years, and I kind of depended on who I was playing next to, just to cover however I got to do it.
Was the green dot kind of an area that you feel like you've grown since you were here the first time?
Yeah.
All that, like how did that progression go for you?
I had to find out that I had to tell my equipment guys to turn the volume up because it gets kind of loud sometimes. But besides that, it's just, you got to communicate with the coach a little bit. Obviously, you don't get to say anything to them. You can throw some hand gestures here and there. But for the most part, listen, make that call, and command that huddle.
I know Olin said he had never had a player like you who played so much on the line of scrimmage being the primary communicator. What was that experience like?
It was fun. Ulbricht's also a very special human being, and I'm gonna miss him dearly. He's awesome. And yeah, it was funny. He'd always talk about that, bring that up. It takes when you are on the line of scrimmage and you're trying to call it, because you could maybe on that side, but the corner over there has to know the call. It takes teamwork, right? So you got to echo it across. It can't be one guy trying to communicate by himself. I mean, even if you're in the middle, it shouldn't be that. So having the right guys around you always helps, and I did over in Atlanta. So it'll be the same here, Lord willing.
What was your free agency like? Were other teams involved? And when the Saints called, was it pretty much a no-brainer for you?
Other teams called. There was some no's thrown on my part. You could even say no's thrown on another team's part. Day 2 came around. I don't think that's what we anticipated, but it did. And I think that's when we first talked to New Orleans. And at first it was almost like, huh? No way. Right? And then as you continue to talk to teams and figure out, all right, talk to my wife, my father, pray, say, all right, what's best? And you start looking at it and just, it's like, wow, God's got a sense of humor. This is awesome, man. Okay, let's do it. And we pulled the trigger, and now we're going to be back in this great city with this great organization and excited to rumble.
Based off your admiration for Demario, you said not replacing him, but based from your experience and inspiration from him, how determined are you to continue his tradition of great linebacker play in New Orleans?
Yeah, in that regard, you better bring it, because he set a standard, right? He set a standard as a linebacker, how he played, the way he approached the game, and the physicality he played with every single day. So I think that standard's been set. I know there's other guys here that have obviously gotten to play with him. Pete's been here for a long time, I know. And me and those guys, the Lord willing, we're going to hold that standard and do everything we can to even raise it if possible.
You said you threw out a couple of no's earlier to some teams. What was the biggest thing that you were looking for in terms of fit when you approached free agency?
So free agency, I mean, I think you hit it. Fit was probably the most important. Obviously, at the end of the day, if someone may not be in your mind the best fit, but they're a significant dollar amount higher, okay, it's probably just what's best for the family. And I mean, if they're willing to offer that, then it probably means it's going to be a decent fit, right? Because they're paying you for that fit. But at the end of the day, like, money isn't everything. It shouldn't be what drives a decision. Fit really was what we were looking for most. And then honestly, a good place for my family. And that's one of the things about coming back here is we know we've been here. We know it. We know it's a good place for my family to be. So again, seeing that defense and how I could fit into it obviously was very appealing. And then getting my family here is going to be special. For I have 2 kids that were born here that we'll always call Louisiana home in that sense, and I'm excited to get them back.
So even in kind of the weeks leading up to free agency, when you're talking over like possibilities with your agent, you really didn't expect Orleans at all. Sounds like.
Not really. Like, I mean, there's always a chance. I mean, I'm sure we did speak of it as a possibility, but you just didn't. You just didn't know. You didn't think. Demario doesn't age, so it was like he's probably gonna be back here anyways. You just didn't know, and so again, when day 2 came and we started having the conversations, it was like, this actually could work out, and it's gonna be pretty cool.
How serious were potential extension talks with Atlanta?
Yeah, yeah, pretty serious. Obviously, something that I think anywhere you are, you want that, because it shows. You want to win, and winning opens up the checkbook for everybody. Winning allows for continuity. Winning allows for people not to get fired, for people not to have to leave, and it broke my heart how it ended there with our head coach, GM, Terry, who was here, right? Me and a lot of the guys that are now having to disperse and go somewhere else. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what happens when you don't win, right? And we don't make the playoffs, things don't happen the way you want. So it sucks. I take personal accountability for that. I was a captain on that team, and we didn't make it happen. So I don't want to let that happen again. Come here and let's do it. Let's do it right.
What was it like being a visitor back in the Dome?
It was weird. It was really weird my first time. I came in and I was like, this locker room ain't as nice. The fans are still as loud, but now they're cheering against you. Yeah, it was weird. But I think by the 3rd time, I had it down. And now I'm glad I won't have to have it down again.
Okay, you talked about fit being with, finding the right scheme. What about the players on this team being able to play alongside pass rushers like Cam Jordan and Chase Young and a linebacker like Pete Werner?
Yeah, you can be a really great player in this league. You could be the best that's ever played, and if you don't have some other dudes that can play next to you, it's not basketball. It ain't gonna work. So getting to see and obviously I had to prepare for this offense twice this year. I got to watch from the sideline the way that they were playing on defense and on special teams. I had a high respect and regard for Kellen and what he was building over here. Obviously, a good draft class last year that has a lot of excitement around it. And then I get to come back and play with some old friends. I get to play with Carl Granderson and Pete Warner, and the list goes on. So I'm really excited to be back.
Hey, what was the conversation like with your family when you told them they were going back to New Orleans?
I just sent a fleur-de-lis emoji and a crown and a frog. And my family went nuts. Princess and the Frog, for anybody that missed that one. My family went nuts for big Disney fanatics, and all my siblings, my parents, our family, friends, they were just like, everybody was so excited. And it was interesting because you just did like to write that story and to come back here and be back where it started. You just didn't think it would ever happen. But it's pretty cool. All the people that are closest to me, right? Their reaction was almost like it was fitting. And I think it is. So I'm excited.
I know you talk a lot about kind of Demario's influence, but you have to think here near the end of, he counts you as part of his tree, like a coaching tree, like having a linebacker tree.
He's got a good tree, dude. He's got a tree.
How is your perspective on that? Like, have you ever talked with him about that?
I've never talked to him about that, but I've talked to Zach Bond and Pete Warner, and yeah, I've talked to a bunch of the guys about that. It's pretty cool. Like, he was obviously the alpha in our room, and there was a lot of high-end talent that if you really look at Demario, he fended off a lot of talent that came and tried to take his job. Like, he said, this is my spot. I'm here, and I'll tell you when I'm ready to leave. And dude, that's what I'm saying, like, getting to be behind him and learn his process, learn what he did, and him just have like the wisdom. Like, I remember one time I was following him all off season, like every lift he did, every movement he did, I was doing it. And he was helping me, talking to me about it. And then finally he's like, Kaden, dude, like, a lot of people have tried copying everything, but man, like, just ask God. Like, he's gonna show you what your body needs. He's gonna show you what you need. Like, just pray and ask him. And I did that, and things changed. I did things different than him, but it's worked out. And he's just a special human being, and his tree's pretty impressive.
You came in as, late round draft pick here, and then going on to be a team captain. When you departed from Atlanta, they put out a tweet saying, "Thank you for setting the standard." Just like, what's this journey? And then now you're coming back here where it all started. Like, what's this journey been like?
It's fun, man. It's, I still feel like I'm 22. I don't feel like I've been in the league that long. It's crazy that it's been that long since college, and you've had this many stops. But it's just been fun. Like, it's been such a joy, and what you want isn't always what you get, but it's made it even better, honestly. And I feel like there's still areas for improvement, more areas for climb, more things to try to attain and accomplish in this league. But at the end of the day, even if it ended now, I'd be so thankful to God and thankful for the opportunity and the people I've gotten to be with.